3 true scary horror stories. Story 1. The parrot that saved my life. When my dad was around 50, he got an African gray parrot. He had always loved parrots, so I was thrilled when he got one after retiring. He named the bird Kevin. Over time, my dad taught Kevin a whole vocabulary of words and even trained him to understand their meaning. Words like hello, what's up, food, thank you, and more. When my dad passed away at 70, my siblings and I had to decide what to do with Kevin. Neither my brother nor sister wanted the responsibility, so I made the choice to take him in. Kevin was one of the last things connecting me to my dad. I set Kevin's cage up in the den of my house. Since the den is on the lowest floor and there's no basement, it's the perfect place for his cage. Kevin is a moderately noisy bird, usually squawking during the day but quieting down at night. On nights when he's loud, I cover his cage with a blanket, which usually calms him down. I watch TV with him in the den, and then go to my room around 10 p.m. to let him sleep. For 2 years, I've taken care of Kevin, and I know him well. But one December night, things took an unsettling turn. Around 11 p.m., Kevin started making noise, long after he should have been quiet. I went downstairs to check on him and found him wide awake, standing on the lower perch, dancing and repeating words like hello, what's up, and his own name. This wasn't normal behavior. I tried to feed him, but he wouldn't eat. I covered his cage, hoping he'd settle down, but the squawking continued. As I stood in the kitchen, I felt something wasn't right. When I returned to the den, I uncovered Kevin. He was still in his agitated state, moving and making noise. Suddenly, I heard something from the pantry closet, a few feet away. I approached it and flicked on the light, revealing the outline of a person standing inside. My heart raced and I instinctively opened the door, yelling. The man, a disheveled figure in his 50s, tried to fight back, but I managed to overpower him. He smelled strongly of homelessness and had no belongings with him. He'd been raiding my pantry, opening jars and boxes of food. If Kevin hadn't alerted me, who knows what else this man might have taken, or worse, what he might have done. I called 911 and the man was arrested, but he had nothing on him. I like to think that part of my dad was watching over me that night through Kevin. Story 2. The voice that shouldn't have been there. This story takes place during my junior year of high school. For some context, I was a student who stayed busy with tough classes and varsity sports. My parents had recently split, and my older brother had gone off to college. It was just me and my younger brother, Reese, at home. We were alike in many ways, but the stress from our family situation meant we didn't get along well at the time. One winter evening, after school and swim practice, I headed straight to the basement to finish homework. The basement in our 2-story house had a small office, which I used to work in. My dad had used it before, but it was mine now. I dropped my swim bag by the door, grabbed some Cheez-Its, and made my way to the office to begin writing an essay for an advanced class I didn't care about. The house was quiet, no sign of Reese, so I assumed he was at swim practice. As I worked, I suddenly heard Reese's voice calling out to me from upstairs, Quinny, come up. At first I thought he must have come home early, but then I realized something felt off. He wasn't supposed to be home yet. I called out, asking if he needed anything, but got no reply. A few minutes later I heard him call out again, Quinny, come up. This time it felt strange. I knew Reese should be at practice, and if he really needed me, he would have come to the basement by now. I checked the main floor but found no sign of him. No backpack, no shoes, and no car in the driveway. Satisfied, I figured he was still at practice. But then, the voice came again. Quinny, come up. Every hair on my body stood on end. I had to be sure, so I ran upstairs and called out, Reese, what's up? I searched the house and found no one. Still, the voice continued, but this time it was different, calm and steady. Quinny, come up. Frozen in place, I stared up the dark stairs, unsure of what to make of it. Then, I heard the garage door open. I rushed.